Brother, Merry Christmas. Let's unfuck your sleep, okay? So you know all the benefit of sleeping. It makes you recover well. It recovers your mind, your body, and all that shit. It produces melanin, produces growth hormones, and all of those hormones for your body benefits. We're not gonna talk about the benefits of sleep, but instead, there's a quite like a benefit, consequence of sleep, which I think is really interesting, which nobody actually really talks about. Your energy skyrockets. Now, I'm not talking about your energy to do the task, your energy to do the work, but you as a person in general. Because in the spiritual term, we have like this sort of concept that at our very core foundation, we are made of light energy. That is like in the spiritual realm, right? Right. I'm not like a very like spiritual prophet or some shit like that. But in a very basic way, you get almost like this more charisma, more like high vibrational energy in you. You know the word vibe, right? Good vibes, bad vibe. Good vibes starts to manifest in you. You start to feel like good vibes. Not just good vibes, but like more like a charismatic, high vibrational state where you don't feel like lazy. Okay, not the basic lazy, but you know those times when you just don't want to do this because it's like you're too tired. But it's also like you don't want to be more charismatic, like intentionally. You don't want to, step outside of your box because you have this low vibrational energy. It may not necessarily mean that you are lazy, it may not necessarily mean that you are procrastinating in your work, but it's just like you can make that extra step in your life that is required, that requires the high energy which you will get from sleep. So those are the basic benefits, and other benefits, scientific benefits that you already know. And I've been like kind of getting my sleep schedule kind of happening, and then it's Christmas today, so I had to like stay up all night yesterday and essentially wait for the Christmas and celebrating with our family. Bro, I don't know if this is normal, like the journal, bro, but it's fine. I usually just cut this off and then just put mine. So even right now, I need to like kind of like fix my sleep, which is why we're here in the first place. Extreme reset, and I'm hope I'm hoping, not hoping, but like I'm estimating to start monk mod next year around January, at the beginning of January, which will be like 10th or 11th of January after my winter holidays gets over. And then I'll be back at home. School will start. It'll be like a new whole season. Maybe in fact like January 6th, January 5th, maybe. And then monk mod. Yeah, relentless one. And so I'm just like fixing everything before all that extreme reset. So imagine like a very good life of yours, okay? Imagine you're waking up every day refreshed. You're doing those hard productive works. You're studying for school, you're getting good grades. You're doing good in life, and then you're working hard as well. You're spending time outside socializing, and then after a busy day, you come home, you hit the gym, you work out at home, you push yourself really hard. You get all tired, you get a good pump, you take a shower, and then you meditate, calming yourself down. You go to the kitchen, there's your family all gathering around for dinner. You eat good food, it's a good diet, high in protein, and then you come back to your room, and then you're working again, just planning tomorrow out. Everything is done. You don't check your phone, you don't check social media, you don't check any like random updates from your favorite YouTuber or some shit. You just hit your bed, lights off, and then you get another good sleep. and then you wake up refreshed again. Imagine that. Imagine that, because the way I'm telling you is so that you can literally like visualize it at the same time. And like I said, what happens when you visualize? You familiarize with it. Visualization is equal to familiarization. And when you make yourself like, yeah, familiarized with that kind of lifestyle where you're sleeping well, working well, and sleeping well, working well, sleeping well, working well, socializing well, and all that, you get into a such high vibrational state where you can't help but be productive every single day, keeping in mind that your dopamine is conserved. Of course, that will be automatic because you don't even have to try. Majority of the time, we struggle with our bad habits, right? We struggle with like fapping. We struggle with, trying to not play video game. We struggle with eating, stopping to eat junk food. We struggle with all those shits in our life. When you, right now, if you like have like a very good sleep schedule, you're sleeping well, those struggles almost like goes away. Because when you get a good sleep, not only like do you become more refreshed, but there's a thing called willpower that increases. So willpower is like essentially your ability to resist things. When you're all drained, your mental side of things isn't recovered well, and then you wake up after a bad night of sleep. You got only like 6 7 hours of sleep. Maybe it's kind of like average, but then you wake up and then you find yourself not having enough willpower as you should. I've read the book Essentialism some couple of months ago. It talked about sleep. The people who thinks they can just function throughout their day through like 6 to 5 to 7 hours, they don't know their potential, because the same type of people will get a lot of benefit from sleeping like 8 9 hours. And of course, like school gets in the way at the same time, so you have to find a balance with things. Either go all in, or it's like it's gonna be hard to balance. But what happens then? The same type of people who sleeps less and thinks that they can function well because they are built different or some shit. Actually, we're not built different. We're all human beings. Those same type of people, they have normalized this sleep deprivation. Because at first, you felt this before, like, right? Like, when you don't sleep well, you feel like sleep deprived, you feel lazy, or you almost feel like mind wandering and all that. And then you get like very sleepy. You feel like taking a nap in the day. And me, just by imagining that, bro, I'm getting sleepy just by imagining that. That's the power of visualization. And so this type of people, they are so much sleep deprived that this very condition of sleep deprivation becomes their new normal, to the point where their body adapts to it and it doesn't even feel like it's a struggle. But at the same time, they don't even know what they are capable of if they would have gotten more sleep. This is like a very epiphany, enlightening line knowledge that I got by reading Essentialism. Yo, we got James. Yeah. So I'm gonna walk you through this, how you can fix your sleep in this live stream, and the practical steps for you to take for these next weeks, or even for you right now, and then for the next couple of days to follow, so that you can fix your sleep. And this is not gonna sound cool, or this is not gonna be the sexy answer, but you're gonna fix your sleep in about 2 weeks. Okay, because you wanted like a quick fix, right? Let me tell you, it's not a quick fix. Every single time I've fixed my sleep, it was never too quick, especially those ones that lasted. So there's like a two option for you here. And like this is just the truth, right? I could easily just say, "Oh yeah, fix your sleep by tonight." But If that happened, if you try to fix your sleep by tonight, you're gonna feel shitty tomorrow because you suddenly changed your circadian rhythm, your sleeping schedule, and all of that. So you automatically, automatically your body will respond to it through tiredness and some shit. Because even if you get a very long sleep right now, if it is like quick fix, you will still be sleepy, even if like you get like 10 hours of sleep. So it's not gonna be a quick fix. You have two options, right? Like I was saying, the quick fix road and the long, like the no shortcut road and the road. The shortcut road is where you just quick fix. Okay, you just like set an alarm at 5 a.m. like you always wanted to, but you just wake up at 8 a.m. So you set an alarm at 5 a.m. But what you are actually doing is creating a gap of 3 hours, which is fucking huge. So you set an alarm at 5 a.m. You calculate the time from now, it's night time, and then you figure out, oh yeah, I'm gonna get 10 hours of sleep even if I wake up at 5 a.m. So what did you do? You slept at like what? 7 p.m. You got 10 hours of sleep. You woke up at 5 a.m. with an alarm. And because you set this difference as 3 hours, which is fucking huge, I'm gonna tell you the optimum minutes for that. It's not even hours. More than an hour, you're gonna feel shitty even if you sleep for long enough. Even if that happens, when you sleep for 10 hours and you wake up at 5 a.m., which is like 3 hours difference from how you originally wake up, how you have been training yourself to wake up, you feel tired as fuck. You wouldn't get this energy like you expected. Maybe you will still get some energy because you got like 10 hours of sleep, fine, but there'll still be like a stress hormone like cortisol, unhealthy level of cortisol. You'll almost like just feel it. The pain is in your body because you just kind of fucked up your sleep and you would want to sleep more till your wake up time. It's almost like you still feel sleepy up until you sleep for like 7 a.m. So that is the shortcut road. You can do that, still feel sleepy and all of that, for a couple of days you're gonna feel very sleepy, but then you're gonna fix your sleep by like five, not even fix, because at that point you have wasted your life feeling sleepy just because you wanted this quick fix. So I wouldn't suggest that, which is why we're gonna be diving into the no shortcut route. The no shortcut is a long fix, but it's a very healthy fix because every single time you wake up, you don't feel as tired. And this doesn't mean that, oh, I wouldn't get my work done in the morning if I wake up not so early. If I wake up like 6 a.m., I wouldn't get to do my work done. I wouldn't get my deep work done before school. But again, it's like you still have 24 hours a day, don't you? So maybe you can do this stuff at night. Maybe you can sacrifice some certain deep work hours. You can compromise it and then, sleep kind of late and then sleep kind of like late but still relatively early than you used to, and then still be waking up without getting tired. I'm gonna practically explain you with numbers. Okay, so just hang on. So we're gonna do this no shortcut route. Agree? Because there are gonna be trade-offs. You take the shortcut route, you're gonna feel shitty, you're gonna waste your life feeling mindless, and it's not gonna last long term. Not probably. You take the no shortcut route. You fix your life. You fix your sleep, which is fixing your life in 2 weeks. It's just gonna take 2 weeks in your whole fucking life. Okay, it's worth it because you have your whole life to improve it. You have your whole life to fix your sleep. So you don't have to rush this process by like quick fix. If you still have like a quick fix mindset right now, just live this live stream, bro. Now, first, we're gonna write something we're grateful for. I'm grateful. I am grateful for tonight because it's quite early. Right now it's quite early. It's like 9 p.m. I slept like 12 12:30 a.m. today morning, and that is like very unusual timing. But still, I've been adapting myself to sleep at 11 p.m. so that I knew this day will come where I need to like sleep at midnight. So I'm grateful for tonight. It's quite early right now. I have the control today. You can see like my eye bags, bro. It kind of sucks, I know. And today I was quite sleepy at church. Not gonna lie. Even like after coming back home, I felt like really sleepy. I wanted to take a nap, but nah, nah, I didn't take a nap. Just workout, cold shower, got it fixed. I am grateful for tonight because it's quite early, and what I'm grateful for again is I am I am grateful for this bench below here, this small bench. This is the place where I'm keeping my phone. I'm grateful for my bench, very small bench. I'm putting it on top of my bed and just putting my phone here, and I'm like speaking as I'm on my bed because we're talking about fixing our sleep. You can see like my pillow here, so I'm grateful for that. And also the way I can be better today. How can you be better today? Think about it because you already grateful for two things you're grateful for now. How can you be slightly better today? Just slightly. For me, guess what? You see, it gets kind of hard to think about it. Okay, okay, okay. Dang. Even you just think about it. How can you be better today? Slightly just better. But you know what? I'm gonna keep my to-do list just next to me, just like right now, because usually it's inside my bag, especially as I'm moving here. I'm gonna, yeah, in fact, I'm gonna look at my to do list as soon as I wake up and then get to deep work. So that is how I can be better today. Because I'm already done with like making the plan for this week's, so I just have to follow it, and I just have to get obsessed with it by looking at it over and over again and just being familiarized with whatever tasks I have to do, so that I can imagine what I need to do, and there is no like an analysis paralysis in order to, take the action. So we're first gonna figure out your sleep requirement. Usually it's 7 to 9 hours, but we're trying to hit 8 hours, especially in this like okay, in this period of holidays. But in fact, even after holidays, I think we're still gonna try to aim like 7:30 to 8 hours of sleep, or maybe even 8 hours and 30 minutes of sleep, which will be pretty cool because instead of using that 1 hour to do our work and become more sleep deprived, I think it will be more worth it for us to get enough sleep and see the immense benefit from it. So you want basically to have your sleep to be lasting around 8 to 9 hours, or at least 7:30 to 9 hours, which is a completion of circadian rhythm. 7:30, 1 2 3 4 5 sleep cycle. So I don't know this scientific stuff about it like Huberman do, but I've read his podcast and I've gotten advice about sleep. I've listened to his podcast. I mean to say, there's a thing called there. Okay, there's a thing called sleep cycle. Now I'm gonna explain to you what is this word because we're gonna use this very common whenever we're talking about sleep. Sleep cycle is the cycle your body gets through when you're sleeping. First, you get into a very light sleep. You get vivid dreams, very very light, and then you get like a very moderate sleep, I would say. Then you get basically you get deeper and deeper into sleep. Okay, very very light sleep, kind of deep sleep, and then these deep sleep moments, and then it turns into like light sleep again, and that is a completion of one cycle. Light sleep, moderate sleep, deep sleep. One cycle. Light sleep, moderate sleep, deep sleep. Two cycle. Light sleep, moderate sleep, deep sleep. That's your three sleep cycle. And you usually want to target for like five sleep cycles, which is 7 hour and 30 minutes, which is why I'm telling you to get like 7 hours and 30 minutes to 9 hours of sleep. Hi. Hi. What is up, MMMMM? So, you want to figure out your sleep requirement. The way I would do this, if you haven't just yet, I'm gonna tell you a process, but it's usually 7 hours and 30 minutes to 9 hours. The way you figure that out for yourself, if you think that it's not like relevant to you, is for 5 days or so, sleep at the same time every single night, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 8 p.m. Doesn't matter. Just sleep at the same time every single night, and then almost like wake up without an alarm. Now choose a time to sleep, okay? 9 p.m. suppose. You chose 9 p.m. You find yourself waking up at 5 a.m. every single time you sleep at 9 p.m. Okay, you wake up at 5 a.m. And the next day you wake up at 6 a.m. You write that down every single time you wake up. Or today I woke up at 5 a.m. Or tomorrow, oh, today I woke up at 6 a.m. Oh, the next time I woke up at 5:30. Or the next time I wake up at 5. Or the next time I woke up again at 6. Because your waking up time will be different for every single time. You want to precisely write it down and then calculate how much sleep you got each night. Because the reason you're doing this is so that you can find the average of the hours of sleep you need, so that you can still feel refreshed without an alarm. Very important here, without an alarm in this experiment that you're gonna do for the next 5 days. If you haven't figured out your sleep requirement, okay, I'm gonna tell you again. Pick a time, 9 p.m. suppose. Wake up, wake up, and write the time you wake up and then how much hours that you sleep. Not even like what hours you woke up. Just write what you slept. It's like you need to know when you woke up so that you know how much hours you slept, right? Which is why I'm mentioning when you wake up, write it down. So you basically find out the hours you sleep, average that. Like suppose one night 8 hours, then other night 9 hours, and then 8 hours again. 9 hours again. 8:30 again. You average this. You add all of this up, and then divide it by five or some shit. Mathematics basics. You will find out that your sleep requirement is 8 hours and 30 minutes. That is very natural to you because what you're doing here is waking up without an alarm by sleeping at the same time every single day, and this is kind of like sustained. This is not just for 1 day or 2 day or 3 day. This is for 5 days at least. You just want to try it out for like 5 days to 2 weeks. I think at the max 2 weeks will do, but again this is like very very long term. Again, I'll suggest 5 to 7 days. After you figured out your sleep, suppose now you got your sleep as 8 hours of sleep requirement, we'll take that. Now you figure out when do you want to wake up. Jack Arrow, hello. When do you want to wake up, bro? I'm talking about Jack. When do you want to wake up? Because in this step, we're gonna figure out when to wake up. 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 4 a.m. Yeah, it could be like 8. That is fine. I mean, just figure out when to wake up because this has a lot to do with your conditioning, whether you are a night owl or whether you are an early bird, which is pretty cool. Doesn't matter what it is. You just gotta be best at it, or maybe you're not any one of them. Maybe you just wake up at moderate time. You don't wake up early. You don't wake up late. You don't sleep early. You don't sleep late. It's just fine. Yeah, like it's cool. Doesn't matter because you still sleep for 20 off. You still sleep for 24 hours a day. I mean, what the fuck am I saying, bro? You still sleep for 8 hours a day. You still get 24 hours throughout every single day. So like it doesn't matter when you sleep, when you wake up, but just make sure that you are consistent with it, which we're gonna talk about. Figure out when to wake up. Like suppose Jack just said 8. We're gonna take this example. Example, bro. Example. So before this, what most people will do is, you know, advise people to take, figure out your sleep chronotype. Oh, are you an early bird or are you a, night owl? But it's like that sleep chronotype of whether or not you are an early bird or night owl, that doesn't fucking matter. Because the only reason you are a, early bird is because you have trained yourself to. It's because you have set your circadian rhythm in that very early stages. And I'm gonna tell you how to, like shift and control your circadian rhythm later on. After you figured it out when you wake up, now figure out when to sleep with respect to the hours of sleep that you need. So suppose your sleep requirement is like 8 hours and then your goal is to, wake up at 8 a.m. You write it down. Oh yeah, goal is to, wake up at 8 a.m., but I wake up at 9 a.m., which means I need to deduct it. Or maybe I wake up at 7 a.m. I need to, wake up a little late. But majority of the time, if you're watching this video, you want to wake up kind of earlier because it's easier to sleep than it is to wake up. So suppose you're waking up at 9 a.m., but your target is 8 a.m. and your requirement of sleep every single time is 8 hours of sleep. You figure out when to sleep because for that it looks like you need to sleep at 12 a.m. Around about that time you need to be, having this light sleep by 12 a.m., which means you need to get into bed like 11:30. Keep that in mind. Now you got that already. Majority part of this equation is done. What I would do from now is, whatever has happened in the past. Right now I'm gonna switch it by just 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, maybe not 20, 30. What to say? 10 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna wake up earlier by 10 minutes. The lesser it is, the more energetic you'll feel when you wake up, even though you made these changes, because the change is tiny. You're just waking up for, 10 minutes earlier the next day. Or maybe you could, like, extend it. Okay, fine, 30 minutes, which is still optimum. You wake up a little earlier than that. And 8:30 will be what you wake up 8:30 a.m., which means that you'll need to sleep at around, what do you say, 12:30 to wake up at 8:30 and still get 8 hours of sleep. Fine. Which means you need to be in bed at 12 and then be in sleep at 12:30 and then wake up at 8:30, which is 30 minutes earlier than the earlier day. And slowly you're gonna deduct 30 minutes until you hit your final requirement of desired waking up time, which is 8 a.m. So by 2 days, that is very easy. There's no much gap there. It's only like 1 hour gap for you. You switch from 9 a.m. to 8 a.m. It only took 2 days of, waking up 30 minutes earlier, and then, adjusting your timing of sleeping by, 30 minutes earlier. You shift everything 30 minutes earlier, and it's simple. Now, when it is a huge change, like you're waking up at 4 a.m., because the 4 a.m. vibe is really different. It's cold as fuck, first of all, it's dark, and then you've never done that shit before. Because usually I'll be like in a very, very deep sleep at like 4 a.m. usually, and that is what I've been training myself to do. So, it was kind of like very uphill battle for me to wake up at 4 a.m. But it was quite a very good challenge, kind of like improvement that I've made by doing so. Mental resilience. Now you want to switch to that timing of yours that you desire. It doesn't matter if you like need to sleep more or need to wake up earlier. You switch that timing steadily, because what happens when you make a huge shift, your circadian cycle disturbs, your body timings get disturbed. Do you have Instagram or TikTok? I don't have TikTok. I have an Instagram. Go to my Discord profile, and then I'll be having the link here. But don't do that right now, because right now I don't have it here. But you know, today I was just planning to do so. Coincidence, but good shit. Cheers. So you want to do that slowly and steadily, because there is a certain thing called your body cycle, body rhythm. It's essentially the body timing. You get a boner every time you wake up. Body timing. You get hungry maybe 5 hours after you wake up. Body timing. You get thirsty 7 hours after you wake up, really really thirsty. Body timing. You get sleepy after 16 hours of being awake. Body timing. Every single time, every single time. So you don't want to disrupt that equilibrium, that balance that your body has already created through experience. But you can do that slowly. Small change doesn't matter. I'm talking small. Because my experience of switching it to 5 a.m. and then 4 a.m., there's a huge gap. To go from 8 a.m. to 6 a.m. is fairly easy. To go from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. is kind of like, okay, getting difficult. To go from 5 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. is still getting harder now, but to go from 4:30 to 4 a.m., now we're talking. That is fucking challenging. Even if it's just like a difference of 30 minutes, that is fucking very, very hard. Which is why you want to take it slow, especially when you're making this big change. But usually you want it to be like 10 to, like, 10 to 30 minutes. But like, it really depends. You could still wake up at the same time tomorrow, and then decide that you're gonna wake up at like earlier time day after. But still make sure you make this steady progress. No huge jumping. If you're gonna wake up at the same time, wake up. If you're gonna sleep a little late tonight again, okay, fine, maybe get back on track, but take it steadily. If you're gonna sleep late again too, don't like make a huge jump, or else you'll get a very sleepy day the next day, and that's not what you want. So, in order to do that, you need to sacrifice certain things. Maybe there are some certain productivity things that you're trying to do, certain works. You need to sacrifice that. You're gonna need to do that in order to sleep, because you can always do that the next morning whenever you wake up, even though there's like a split in the block. Because one time the one of the block is like at night, one of the block is at morning, because you just need to sleep in the middle of the work session, your study session. But it's worth it. Over time, you switch the whole night study routine into the morning by sleeping early, and converting it into the morning. Because sleeping early doesn't mean that you necessarily sacrificed your study timing, because at the end of the day, you have the same requirement of sleep 8 hours, and then you have the same hours, which is 24 hours every single day. So it is still there, it is just shifted. You don't need to be afraid of that. Sometimes you gotta take that leap. because one time in your life you fucked up your sleep. It's worth it. You deserve it. So commit to this for the next 5 days. If you haven't still found out your sleep requirement yet, which I know most of you guys haven't, maybe you're coping and saying that you have found your sleep requirement, but maybe you haven't. And frankly, maybe I haven't too, because it's been very long that I didn't update my sleep requirement. So we're gonna do this together for the next couple of 5 days. We're gonna sleep at the same time every single night, and then wake up without an alarm. Preferably the same time. Maybe it's 9 p.m. that you slept. Maybe you can get to like 9:30. Maybe sometimes you can get to like 8:30. Just make sure there's like only 30 minutes differences, both earlier and both later. But make sure you sleep around about the same time, because the main part of this is how much hours did you sleep? How much hours did you need to sleep without an alarm waking you up? Because you're gonna wake up by yourself at the end of your cycle when your body is satisfied. Very important here. When your body is satisfied, kind of like satisfied, and then you feel just fine, not too tired like you usually do, and don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about, sleeping a little long, not being able to work in the morning, but because it's worth it. Finding your sleep requirement is not just for this past couple of months, or maybe even years. It's like for the next 1 decade, 2 decades. This is gonna be an estimate of your sleep requirement. Just by you sacrificing some certain hours in the morning, it is totally worth it. And if you think you're still like sacrificing too much, sleep earlier then. Sleep earlier then. And okay, there's some certain things you can do to kind of like manipulate your circadian rhythm so that you can become type of person who wakes up at that time, no matter if it's earlier or if it's later. Because once you have found your sleep chronotype, the type of person you are, whether you're a late night or early morning sleeper, bro, there's like a fly, bro. I can't feel it, but oh, it's my hair probably. Okay, so after that, you're gonna do certain habits as soon as you wake up, which will help you make this morning routine more adaptable for yourself, for your body. Because, like I said, you're going through this change. Your circadian cycle is going through this change. You need to adapt to that timing. Certain things you can do: get sunlight as soon as you wake up. If there's no sunlight at 4 a.m., fine. Get a very blue light. Turn on the light bulb as soon as you wake up. I have like a torch, almost like I'm closing my eyes. I just woke up, the alarm is ringing. I'm taking the torch, I'm putting it in my eyes this way. I'm getting into the morning habit of waking up at 4 a.m., which is quite extreme actually. And then as soon as I do that, I'm getting cold shower. And preferably, you want to get workout. You want to work out early in the morning so that you can feel this spike of cortisol early in the morning, which means that after 24 hours, you will get that spike again naturally this time, because you have made that circadian rhythm basically to go early. So basically, you don't have to remember all the science shit. All you have to do is, wake up, get sunlight, and after that, it's not like in sequence, but you want to get this checked off, like sunlight or any blue light, but preferably sunlight. Cold shower and workouts. I don't know how the hell you do it, but get this three earlier in the day. Or maybe even like having a meal. These four things alone will set like a very, like, I don't know, very like stepping. I don't know how to put this, but these are the four habits that are the main determinants of how your circadian rhythm is set. When you do this for as early as possible in the morning, don't be surprised when you get adapted to it over time, because this is gonna take time. At first, you're gonna need an alarm when you're trying to wake up, but for your sleep requirement experiment, do it without an alarm. Find your sleep, and then finally, when you're getting to your desired wake up timing, You set an alarm every single time. You do those four habits to the point where, like, it's like more than 2 weeks that you have been doing this. Then you can wake up without an alarm. Then, because you have been doing these four habits, you know, workouts, meal, cold shower, getting sunlight in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you get adapted to those time. No matter if it's like you waking up late and doing all these four, or you waking up early and doing all these four, just by the act of doing all these four habits, you get adapted that you get adapted to that time. Very powerful. This is the beginning. Like, you need to commit and become the type of person who wakes up early, because again, there's like a huge problem here, which I've felt myself too. Whenever you're smashing the day, good productive work, you're disciplined, you didn't fap, you didn't play video game, you're very productive, you've done all your work, then you're finally going to sleep. You're gonna get a huge urge to procrastinate sleep. Because just like how you procrastinate your hard work, you procrastinate sleep the same way. And it's only when you realize that going to bed and sleeping is in and of itself a task, then you realize, then, damn, I shouldn't procrastinate. Because just by being more aware, you get more in control of the situation. And trust me when I say this. So you want to become like a type of person who want to fix your identity. You need to normalize sleeping for 8 hours, training for like, training very hard, working out really hard for more than 30 minutes a day, getting more than 8 hours of sleep, getting good diet, not fapping. You have to normalize all of that lifestyle. It has to become a lifestyle. Or else, if that is not normalized, and if you have like a self image of a person who still fucks up his sleep, no matter how productive you were, no matter how much consistency you have been doing in your, figuring out of your sleep requirement and figuring out when to wake up and all that shit, you're still gonna find yourself literally procrastinating sleep. You need to normalize it. You need to make that sacrifice. No matter how many, like, no matter if you can't sleep because you are hyped up because, oh yeah, I'm finally gonna get 9 hours of sleep. You still calm the fuck out of yourself. You turn off the light 30 minutes before bed. I'm gonna do that just now. You hit your bed. If it's too like tiring, your heart pumping very fastly, okay, do some breath work, meditate. One breath work I like is like deep exhale, deep inhale first, not the exhale, okay, you just inhale, and then you almost like take an extra breath, and then you exhale out, almost like a huge relief. Now, I don't suggest you do this throughout your day, because this will like make you solely dependent on this, because your muscle is being used up too much at the same time. But of course, when you're laying down, your muscles are less likely to be used up, so you can take this big ass breath, and then take almost like this huge, just get deep into the breath. Take a little more breath than your deep breath. Exhale from your mouth after that. And then you want to keep that inhale in the normal pace, but the exhale, make it slow as possible. Because when you touch your heart and then you inhale and exhale, you'll find that it's only when you exhale that your heart kind of gets slow, and then when you inhale, your heart may or may not get fast or may remain the same, but it's only in the exhale that your heart remains slow, gets slower than usually, gets slower than usual, and that is when you calm down. That is when like your brain shuts down. And over time, when you're doing meditation at the same time, which is a core habit, non-negotiable habit of extreme series, when you're doing that at the same time, you almost develop this ability for yourself, like a skill, to instantly kick in this peace mechanism where you can suddenly in command become more calm, which really helps in sleep, by the way. I think it is called like GABA or something. There's a supplement for this GABA supplement. It's fairly expensive for third world country people. So yeah, meditation is the cure here. And we have meditated yesterday, meditated our way to Christmas, and we're gonna meditate. I've already meditated, by the way, after shower, but I'm gonna meditate again. Just calm myself down with the lights off. That is how exactly you fix your sleep. Life is gonna get on the way, but like I said, stay consistent with it. And maybe even when on your journey of like getting to the desired waking up time, you may find that waking up time wasn't actually the time that you wanted to wake up. Maybe it's quite like earlier than that, or maybe it's even like more later than that. Just figure that out, because as you are on self improvement, you kind of like outgrow your younger self faster than how any normal people will usually do. So fine, quietly, like, greatly accept that with gratitude, and just find what is your best time every single time, and stay consistent with it, committed to it. And there's also another habit, like a bonus habit, that I will try to give you, because I think this is one of the best habits. I think if you like are watching me for a while now, you probably know this: visualization. I wasn't able to wake up at 4 a.m. until I visualized myself too, until I became the person who wakes up at 4 a.m. Because at 4 a.m., when I used to wake up at 4 a.m., bro, usually I don't wake up at 4 a.m. I'm getting good sleep at 4 a.m. I'm in deep sleep, after sleeping late. But when I needed to wake up at 4 a.m., bro, I knew I needed to become a whole new, different person. A person who wakes up at 4 a.m. The way I did it is familiarize myself to wake up at 4 a.m. I visualize myself literally waking up at 4 a.m. and experiencing everything that I will experience. If it's like a reality, which is like outside is dark, it is cold, I'm with my blanket, I'm feeling kind of worn out because there's no light, there's no sunlight, but I'm still using my phone to wake up and all that shit. You need to visualize. Just like with any other habit, if you want to get anything done, you first have to get it done in your mind. How did you think the fucking light bulb was invented? Thomas Alva Edison or some shit? Doesn't matter. It was invented in his mind before it became a reality. The Wright brothers made the first aeroplane, like first flying model or some shit. It was first made in his mind. This fucking pen was in the mind of the person who kind of like invented pens before it was in reality. And at the same way, you must invent a habit in your mind before you can make it into a reality, and before you can improve it drastically with any habits. Before you can improve any habits, you must make sure that it is already a habit of yours. Because again, like I said, like I posted, you cannot improve a habit you do not possess. Amen. Merry Christmas, brothers. Stay hard, improve your life one step at a time. Always.